There is a voice in your head. It tells you to hit the snooze button. It tells you that you are too tired to work out. It tells you to quit when the pain sets in. It tells you that you are not good enough, smart enough, or strong enough. Most people listen to that voice. They obey it. They live a life of quiet compromise, governed by a relentless negotiator for comfort. This is the story of David Goggins, a man who decided to call that voice a liar, to starve it, and to destroy it. Can't Hurt Me is not a self-help book. It is a boot camp for the mind. It is a raw, unfiltered, and brutal account of one man's journey from a life of abuse, obesity, and despair to becoming one of the world's toughest endurance athletes. This is not about positive thinking. This is about a fundamental truth that most of us only use 40% of our capabilities. The other 60% is locked away, guarded by the very mind that is supposed to serve us. Goggins calls this the governor, and his life's work is to show you how to destroy it. The story begins in the depths. Goggins did not have a fighting chance. He grew up in a household of terror, subjected to relentless physical abuse from his father and living in constant fear. He was a victim of racism and struggled with a learning disability that made him feel stupid and worthless. He was the embodiment of the odds stacked against a human being. His first instinct was to run, to join the Air Force Tactical Air Control Party, but he failed out. He found himself living in Indiana, working as an exterminator, spraying for cockroaches. He was overweight, depressed, and directionless. He saw his future in the men he worked with, men who had given up on their dreams. One night, watching a documentary about Navy SEALs, he saw a glimpse of another world, a world of ultimate testing. In that moment, he faced a choice: to remain a victim of his circumstances, or to take accountability for the first time in his life. He chose accountability. This is the first and most important principle. You are not your past. You are not your circumstances. You are responsible for your life no matter what has been done to you. The world does not care about your excuses. Goggins decided to stop making them. His goal was insane: to become a Navy SEAL. The problem: he was 297 pounds. The Navy SEALs required him to be under 191 pounds to even take the entrance test. He had 3 months. What followed was a masterclass in callousing the mind. He did not go on a diet. He went to war with his own body. He ran in a garbage bag to sweat more. He worked out until he vomited. He ignored the screaming pain in his joints and the voice in his head begging him to quit. He learned to embrace the suck. He understood that the mind breaks first, long before the body. He had to callous his mind to make it resilient to the constant urge to stop. He would sit in a sauna for hours, not for pleasure, but to practice being uncomfortable. He would run until his feet were raw and bleeding. This was not punishment, this was training. He was building a mental armor, layer by painful layer. He was learning to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. In 3 months, he lost 106 pounds. He took the test and passed. But this was only the beginning of the suffering. He arrived at Bud S, the SEAL training program known as the toughest in the world. And he failed. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. He suffered from stress fractures, pneumonia, and a broken leg. Each failure was a monumental setback. Most people would have taken this as a sign. They would have listened to the governor. Goggins did the opposite. He saw failure not as an end, but as data. He created a concept called the accountability mirror. He would literally look at himself in the mirror and speak the raw, unfiltered truth. He would list every flaw, every weakness, every place where he had cut a corner. No sugarcoating, no excuses. He took full ownership of every failure. It was not the instructor's fault. It was not his leg's fault. It was his fault. He had not been smart enough. He had not prepared enough. He had not been tough enough. This brutal self-honesty was his fuel. He stopped lying to himself. He stared at his reflection and acknowledged the man who was responsible for the mess. And then he got to work fixing him. On his third attempt with a broken leg, he hid from the medics. David Goggins graduated from Buddes as one of the oldest men in his class. But the end of SEAL training was not the end of the journey. It was the beginning of a new understanding. Goggins realized that the 40% barrier was a universal law of human nature. When your mind tells you are done, you are only at 40% of your actual capacity. The feeling of exhaustion, the pain, the desire to quit is not a truth. It is a signal, a biological and psychological governor designed to keep you safe and conserve energy. It is a lie. Goggins' entire philosophy is built on proving this governor wrong. He did not stop after the SEALs. He turned to the world of ultra-endurance racing, a world he knew nothing about. He entered a 100-mile race, having never run more than 20 miles. He finished. He set a world record for pull-ups, completing 4,030 in 17 hours. He completed the Badwater 135, a race through Death Valley in the height of summer, multiple times. Each event was a deliberate act of governor destruction. He was not running to win. He was running to mine the depths of his own soul, to access that hidden 60%. This process requires a tool he calls the cookie jar. This is a mental repository of all the past sufferings you have overcome. When you are in the depths of a new challenge, when the governor is screaming at you to quit, you open the cookie jar. You remind yourself of the times you have already been through hell and survived. You remember the time you worked a double shift. You remember the time you passed that difficult exam. You remember the time you got your heart broken and kept going. These are your cookies. They are proof that you are tougher than you feel in the moment. They are evidence that the governor is a liar. The cookie jar is your personal arsenal of resilience. You must stock it with your past victories, no matter how small, and you must draw from it when the darkness closes in. The life Goggins advocates for is not a happy one in the conventional sense. It is a life of perpetual warfare against your own weakness. He does not believe in motivation. Motivation is fleeting and unreliable. He believes in discipline. He believes in showing up every single day, especially on the days you do not want to. He calls this being uncommon amongst uncommon people. While others are sleeping, you are working. While others are making excuses, you are taking souls, a term he uses for destroying your own doubts and, by extension, inspiring others to do the same through your example. This path is lonely. It will alienate people who are comfortable with mediocrity. They will call you crazy, obsessed, and unbalanced. Goggins argues that this is the price of greatness. You cannot live a cushioned, comfortable life and expect to achieve anything extraordinary. You must embrace the hate, the pain, and the loneliness. You must take souls by refusing to conform to the low standards of the world. The ultimate message of "can't hurt me" is that you are not special. This is not an insult. It is a liberation. Your mind is the same as everyone else's. It is wired for comfort and self-preservation. Your body is the same. It will scream in protest when you push it. The difference between you and the person who achieves the impossible is not talent or genetics. It is the willingness to go to war with yourself every single day. It is the decision to stare into the accountability mirror and accept the truth. It is the calloused mind that welcomes the suck as a sign of growth. It is the relentless pursuit of that hidden 60%. David Goggins is not a superhuman. He is a man who decided to stop being a victim. He is a man who decided that the pain of discipline is far less than the pain of regret. His story is a testament to the potential that lies dormant in all of us, waiting to be awakened by the relentless, unforgiving, and liberating hammer of total ownership. The governor is in your head. It is time to call it a liar. It is time to go to war. Stay hard.